Yes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back again at the Best Chef Awards Instagram Talks, where we are talking to different chefs from around the world, sharing some inside information about the current situation in their country. We are speaking to the world best chefs. Former chefs were Antonio Bashur from the United States. We had Alex Atala from Brazil and Toru Nakamura from Germany, Munich. And today we have a very special guest again. Check my connection. My name is Jonathan Zandbergen, and I'm a Dutch chef from Restaurant Merlin. Hello.
Hello, how are you, Chef?
Yes, I'm great.
I'm sorry about before. I understand there was a mix-up in the time, so sorry if
So we
I
were
kept you waiting.
current time in London is 5 p.m.
Exactly.
and that's right now. So
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, but let me introduce you first because
Thank you.
I was just speaking about that the best chefs is sharing some information and talking and speaking to chefs worldwide. Now you're Alex Dilling from the Greenhouse in London, UK. First question, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I guess we're in the middle of our 6th week now, so it's still a very big adjustment, as you know, being a chef, especially with our pace of life and everything, to go from that extreme to this extreme of being at home every day. And yeah, it's a huge adjustment, but I'm healthy. My family is okay. So
All
for
right,
the most
yeah.
part, that's the most important. So I cannot complain in that regard.
Yeah, well, that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Are all restaurants closed in London?
Yeah, all restaurants are closed. Some and more as time goes on are opening to do takeout and to do delivery. So that seems to be kind of the popular format for the restaurants that are able to start doing that for the moment.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. We are seeing a lot of creative initiatives from a lot of chefs.
Yeah,
Of course, the small entrepreneurs or like startup restaurants, they're really in a difficult position because they haven't built up any reserves.
exactly. Yeah.
You're the executive chef of the Greenhouse. It's a two-Michelin
Correct.
star restaurant. For a long period of time, you are holding on to the 2 stars already.
Oh, I've only been there, I mean, coming on 2 years now, but the restaurant has a long history with a lot of great chefs.
Yeah,
Very fortunate to be there, yeah.
nice, and congratulations on this.
Thank you.
About the restaurant, because it's now closed, business is down like 100%,
100% down, yeah.
and staff costs are like still running.
So the way it's working in the UK is the government has a retention scheme. So in order for all the businesses not to get rid of all the staff, and this is not just for restaurants, but for all fields, they offer to pay a certain amount of every employee's
Yeah,
salaries for you not to let them go.
yeah,
So this is an incentive started by the government that's kind of still in the process of happening. So for the most part, we're hoping to keep all of our team. You know, as you know, without these people, the restaurant is absolutely nothing. So really,
no,
our main goal is to keep all of our staff for that moment when we come back, so that we can come back with the same power, the same consistency that we had before.
yeah, of course, of course. Well, that's
Yeah.
nice. I'm from Holland. We also have this government support
Oh,
up
fantastic.
till like 70-80% of staff costs.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
it's all like it's based on the January costs. So for some restaurants, you know, January is like can be a down month.
Yeah.
Um,
Like most places. Yeah.
so there are some. It's more complex than just. Well, in the end, it's very positive. Our government and like in the UK, the government is supporting the restaurants.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I was speaking to some different chefs from different countries, and it's not everywhere in the world. For example, in Latin America, that the government does anything. Portugal, I have some friends there. They're really in a difficult position.
Yeah,
So
we're very fortunate. Some countries
we
it's
are
absolutely
fortunate.
not
Yeah.
the case, and especially as we know for our industry, that's really crippling. So very lucky. And what's the situation there at the moment for restaurants? Is there some dates set out at all, or?
Yeah, well, in Holland we have this prime minister told the people that until the 20th of May, regulations aren't going to be changed or adjusted.
Okay.
But and this means that all restaurants have to be closed, hotels can be open, and
Oh, interesting.
events are like cancelled until the 1st of September. So the whole season is cancelled. For us, I'm working in a hotel restaurant Merlet, and
Yeah.
we have created this in-room, so it's like room service concept where we have two restaurants. We have a Michelin star restaurant and we have a brasserie or a Grand Café. So we're doing now a 4-course Michelin star dinner in room,
Oh, wow. Okay.
which is kind of creative and
Isolated experience.
it is an isolated
Yeah.
experience because in our business most of the experience is about hospitality and service, and now we have to keep this distance. So we managed to create a concept maintaining distance, but we are making some money, and that's important because we have also 40 permanent staff on.
Sure.
We have to pay every month, so we have to be creative.
That's the way forward now. I think it's going to have to be a lot of adapting, being creative, and finding ways to manage with the cards that are dealt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you said you're already home for 6 weeks.
Yeah, we're in the middle of our 6th week. Yeah.
In the middle of our 6th week, and you're craving to reopen again, and
Yeah,
right?
big time. I mean, I miss my team like incredibly. It's like 35 of us. They're my team, but they're also some of my best friends, and so that's already a huge hit not to see them every day. And also, I miss the creative process. It's like every day creating. We're always working on 2 or 3 ideas, and that's kind of like the fire that keeps us going, that keeps you going to work early every day. And that's tough, and you can create at home, but it's not the same. You make things that you love to eat, delicious things, but there's that creative aspect of a fine dining restaurant that really fuels your fire. And that's tough to not have.
Yeah,
that
this is also something I was concerned about because the whole creative process is like totally out of your system. And of course, we don't know when we can reopen again, but we're always busy working up front with a new menu, with new creations. And when you don't have this preparation time and you're reopening in a new season, it can be a challenge,
That's the thing as well. We don't know really what season. So, we can think and put on paper ideas and products that we think we'll be working with. But as you know, you can only go so far on paper. We need at some point to translate that to the plate, to taste, to work with the product. So, we're writing down ideas and thinking about things, but excited to say the least to get back in the kitchen and start working on things. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. And about your staff contacts. Do you have any meetings or irregular contacts, or is it
I'm
totally...
speaking to a lot of my staff regularly, some not as regularly, but we have WhatsApp groups where we're all in, and we're in touch. We're always in touch. Even on the weekends when we're not working normally, we're in touch with one another. So, but I think for a lot of them probably and for a lot of chefs in general, it's the first moment to have such a long period to get rest, to relax. So I hope that most of them are making the most of that and enjoying it, and with their family or with their boyfriends, girlfriends, taking the most of probably a unique moment in their whole careers.
And is this something you're experiencing too at
Absolutely.
home?
I mean, I've never been so relaxed in my life. I mean, there's of course the part that's stressed out about what's going to happen next. I felt like we were in a really big momentum with the restaurant, and that was so great. And you worry, is that momentum going to keep going? What's the future for our industry, for fine dining? There's a lot of these stresses, but we have to control that. You can't spend all your waking hours. You have to try enjoy your life. So when those stresses aren't there, I feel very relaxed, and yeah, I am
Nice.
enjoying this moment. Yeah, no, not setting an alarm is becoming a nice habit.
Yeah, don't get used to it.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
hope.
I hope not. Yeah.
And about this future of gastronomy, well, in our business, what are your thoughts on this? Do you have any idea of in what form it will return?
I think it will all come back to where it was. It's just going to be a matter of time.
Yeah.
People love to go out. People love to eat. People love the nature of restaurants. I think no matter what, everything will go back to normal as it was. It's just a question of how long that will take. Yeah, it's a huge part of people's lives. I think as well,
Yeah, that's true.
people having to cook at home for the first time is
I
probably
think,
really hard for a lot of people.
but it's a very positive thing, you know. I see,
Absolutely, it's a
and
positive
myself
thing. Yeah,
including,
yeah,
I'm baking bread at home,
yeah,
and I see a lot of people baking bread. So I was thinking, oh, well, this means people are paying more attention to what they're eating
yeah.
and putting more effort in what they're eating. So it's
Absolutely.
a good thing, you know.
But I think, yeah, I think there will be especially an immediate surge of people who are like, oh my God, restaurants are open. I'm desperate to go out
Oh yeah, for
and
me as
to
well.
enjoy, to be around the table with other people, to not have to cook, clean up, and have that convivial environment. So the optimist part of me wants to think that, yeah, when things ease up, when we know that it's a safe environment, people will hopefully rush out and support all of our restaurants and help bring the business back to what it was.
Yeah. And is there any perspective in time you're looking forward to?
To be honest, here we don't have so much information on that. The
Oh.
information we're getting is really, it's not the moment to ease the lockdown whatsoever. We need to keep going. We can't throw away the work that everyone's done in regards to the lockdown. So, I think for myself and probably for most people, it's a bit of a frustrating moment right now because 6 weeks is long for anybody.
Yeah.
But we don't really have an insight as to when the end of this tunnel is. So,
Oh.
no, here for the moment, there's no clear dates or anything.
Not
And
even for a press conference?
well, we know, every day they're speaking in the news and giving updates. But in regards to date when things will be opening, we really don't know. But the information we do have is like I think a lot of places that bars and restaurants will be some of the later things that are allowed to reopen.
Yeah. And you were saying that everything will come back to normal
My
in the
fingers are
future.
crossed.
Yeah, mine too. But
Yeah.
I believe, in my opinion, there are certain travel restrictions are going to be more tough, you know. And a lot of our colleagues, they have restaurants depending on international clientele. How is this for you in the greenhouse?
We have a huge amount of international clients. I mean, I think especially when we talk about high-end restaurants, fine dining restaurants, a lot of, I think most of them are, at least 50% are people traveling from abroad that look at the guides that say, okay, what are the best restaurants in this place I'm visiting? But I think also the fact that we won't have these international clients coming, all of our guests that are within the UK will not be leaving.
Yeah.
So,
So you will think it will balance.
I don't know, but again, let's be optimistic and hope for that. I think every country, the people will look within about what have they not experienced where they are because they don't have the option to leave, So whereas a lot of the UK clientele might have gone to France or to Germany or wherever,
Yeah.
they're going to stay in London and think, okay, I haven't been to this restaurant yet. Here, let's try that. So
Yeah.
hopefully it'll work both ways, but
Yeah.
time will
Uh,
tell.
Time will tell. For us, the
Yeah.
same. We are here in a coastal region in the north of Holland, so we have a beautiful product. But we are very strong in Dutch clientele already.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
yeah, we do not really have this problem, and we were actually building this international reputation right now. But yeah, for example, last week I spoke to Alex Atala from Brazil, and he has several projects, but one of the restaurants is Dom,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's a lot of international clientele. maybe 50, 60% coming to his
Yeah, it's
restaurant.
huge. Yeah.
And when that falls down, because I really believe restrictions are going to be more difficult for traveling in the future. Um, yeah, can be a risk. Um, so, please, Alex. Well, first I'm talking to the viewers a little.
Okay, no
Welcome
problem.
everybody. When you're tuning in right now, my name is Jonathan. I'm a chef of Merlet from Holland, and I'm speaking for the Best Chef Awards, where we are talking to worldwide chefs, some of the greatest chefs we have. Today we have a very special guest from London, United Kingdom. He's the executive chef of the Greenhouse, Alex Dilling. Yeah, we are speaking already. There's a question for you I want to ask. Do you have anything you want to share with your colleagues from around the world?
Um, I think it's hard for all of the colleagues in our industry. I think what's really important is that we all stay positive. You know, sometimes we're presented with a situation that we just have to deal with. I think to be positive, to send out a positive energy to those around us is sounds really simple, but it can have a big effect. So even when things seem tricky and you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, I think to try and be positive. There's people always around hearing your atmosphere, so it's cool to send that vibe out and try to keep everyone in a good spirit in a hard time. So
That's nice. That's
being
very nice.
positive is a big thing. So
Yeah, well, that's very good to hear.
yeah.
So you're now working. You're back in London, but you were raised in the United States, right?
I was born in London, but I kind of moved back and forth between the States and London, being half American, half English.
All
And
right.
I've been back in London now for around 7 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, London is somewhere I call home. I was young when I lived in the States. I grew up in California, part of my really early years, but London
Sounds
is my
nice.
home. Yeah, yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Nice. And can you tell us a little bit about your career as a chef? Because what I know is that you once started with Alain Ducasse.
Yeah, so I've been at the greenhouse now for coming on 2 years. Before that, I was the executive chef for Helen de Rose. She has a fine dining restaurant in London and in Paris, and I was with her for almost 5 years,
All right.
which was a
Nice.
really great experience. Obviously, being at the Connaught Hotel is an amazing location, amazing history, and also having the opportunity to spend time in Paris was fantastic.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I worked in New York for I think around 7 years. I was a chef at a Caviar house in New York for a few years, which some people that know the cuisine at Greenhouse know that I love caviar, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah. All right. All right. You've created a lot of recipes
Well,
containing
yeah, you know,
caviar.
at this restaurant in New York, you know, it was a caviar kind of wholesaler as well as a restaurant, and we worked with a lot of caviar, and it's an instant ingredient I really appreciate ever since then. I find it really interesting. So, yeah, when you come to the greenhouse, you're sure to eat a bit of it.
All right. So you hear it, everybody. If you like caviar,
Yeah,
visit the greenhouse. Oh, I
it's
should
not free,
go.
huh?
I should go.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
And before that, yeah, I worked at a restaurant for Alain Ducasse for some years, which yeah, amazing experience. So for like four plus years, and no, that was amazing. You know, being a young chef in one of his kitchens is yeah, it's fantastic. You know,
yeah.
it's an
Nice.
amazing way to start and to shape your career. It's not easy by any means, as any good kitchen isn't, but no, it's incredible foundation to work there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. We're gonna check. Yeah. Do you have some projects who are now delayed or canceled or anything?
Projects, no, you know, I'm pretty happy and glued to the kitchen at the greenhouse. There was a few collaborations we planned to do around the world, you know, doing dinners with other chefs and friends that obviously are very much on hold. I hope they'll happen again, but I think that'll be things that are moved to next year, you know, traveling to Hong Kong and Singapore or even Greece, and just we'll have to wait till things are safe. But
Yeah.
hopefully all of these things will still come to fruition next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. For me as well. Everything internationally is cancelled. And
Yeah.
no, but some Antonio Bashur is like a pastry chef
Yeah, yeah.
from Miami. Oh, maybe. And yeah, he had a new shop, invested in reopening a new shop or opening a new shop, but this is all delayed. And I can imagine when you have done some investments, then
Yeah.
you're gonna be in difficult position in the future when it takes too long to be able to open your restaurant or to.
Absolutely. And did
Um,
you have a lot of projects lined up?
Yeah, I had a few in China, one, and
Okay.
I had some collaboration dinners going on, but as well in our restaurant in Holland
Okay.
with international chefs, so they're cancelled. We also do a lot of events from out of our organization. We do it like in Merlet. We have a big hotel restaurant, or we do it on like separate locations. But everything is cancelled because events are like from 100 and above people.
Yeah.
They're not allowed. So
Sure.
yeah, it's
But I think
and
these kind of collaboration dinners between chefs will be really important going forward as soon as we're able to, this kind of promotion for restaurants, for each other, all these things that can bring excitement into our industry are going to be
yeah.
hugely important in the time coming forward. They're fun for us, but it also brings a lot of exposure to our restaurants and gets people excited to come and eat. So I think that's going to be a great way for us to move forward once we're able.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it's a very positive way of collaborating. We are in a different generation now. We are sharing everything we know and learning from each other.
Yeah,
So that's a really positive thing. I believe the director from the Best Chef Awards, it's like one of his primary goals is to connect the world of gastronomy and let them share everything. So
sure.
I don't know if you know Christian Gadau, but he's the director of the Best Chef Awards. And this is one thing he told me in the past, like this is so important for me, and one of the reasons I created a startup this platform, because he also sees that we really have to share our knowledge also for the next generations, because that's another thing. I'm dealing with it myself as well. I have some students or trainees in the kitchen. There are like they're loosening up restrictions for the exams, but of course all students now are in a very difficult situation. I can imagine you have some students or trainees in the kitchen as well.
Actually, surprisingly, no.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think most of the people in our kitchen have been out of school for quite a few years. But I'm not sure what's happening in the UK in regards to exams and that. No.
Yeah, that's can be tricky, because
Yeah.
I know from my students they are not allowed to go to school. They're not allowed to train for their exam. I work with different schools, so they don't doing the same.
Complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is it is an issue, but I believe really in training and teaching the next generation. I see. Well, you just told us your career and the mentors you have worked for in the past. It's very important to learn craftsmanship from someone who really understands this
Absolutely.
techniques
Yeah.
or like flavor combination or philosophy. Because no, I really think that's important. So for me, I do a lot at the schools or with the students.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. The world of gastronomy is getting smaller and smaller now. Just the fact, like us, we can speak like this is really changed the world we work in. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fortunate. I'm also from a fortunate generation with all media access to books, YouTube. It's very easy to gain access to a chef's philosophy from like across the world
Sure.
in this time. And of course, our like the legend chefs now, yeah, they had to go to a different country to learn something
Yeah,
different than
yeah.
the rest.
Oh, yeah, it's completely different. The knowledge is so accessible now, yeah.
And how are you on sharing recipes?
I'm quite okay with that. I think what's interesting, especially with social media now and everything, is we put, every time all of us, we come up with a new dish, we put it out there for people to see. And I think that's important, in the fact, there's going to be some people who imitate that. But when it gets interesting, it's the people who are inspired by that and take that idea and try to go further with it. And I think it was really important we continue to share what we do, and that really creates this, further improvement on it. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's for that I think some social media tools are so interesting. We can see what all the chefs are doing at any time, a little bit of healthy competition, and and striving to be better by seeing what the other people are doing. It's a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
no,
I
I think it's
agree.
important to show what you're doing and share everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so now when I look at your work, there I can see like a signature in your work. I follow you on Instagram, but I recently visited the website of the greenhouse, which is um, very inviting. See a lot of beautiful pictures, good stories. Um, it's a very visual website, like you're entering the restaurant immediately. Is this something you are working with, like a marketing or advertising bureau, or is this something from inside of the organization?
No, it's something, with a website designer that me and the manager work with, to kind of have something that's cohesive with our style overall. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really nice, and also see a lot of caviar, so that's nice as well.
I think you're not really eating caviar at home, so when you go out to a nice restaurant, why not?
No, of course,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Um, Now, the pace we are working in, like every day, it has collapsed totally, and you're at home. So, for creating, how do you manage this? Creating new recipes? Are you thinking a lot of thinking about what you're going to do when reopening, or is there any like tools you're using?
The way usually we work on new dishes is we change kind of sporadically when a new product's coming into season. So, if green asparagus is going to start in 3 weeks' time, I'll work with my sous chefs and we'll say, okay, we need to have green asparagus on the menu in 3 weeks. What are we going to do? Which ingredients can we pair with it? How can we manipulate this product? How can we leave it alone? And then it goes from there. It's really like we're always working on like one project, maybe two, and it's about that next product we want to have on the menu that's going to be coming into season.
Yeah,
Now I'm thinking, okay, tomatoes are going to happen. What can we do around tomatoes?
yeah.
But we
You're
also
already
have,
looking forward to summer.
and now it's starting to seem that way, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's usually how it works. I think creatively it's hard when you try to put too many ideas in your head at once. If you're thinking, okay, white asparagus, tomatoes, and then, thinking about 4 or 5 different dishes at once, I think it's, personally, I find that really complicated, to have focus and to think of something worthwhile. So I think it's good to work on one idea at a time, make that happen, and then move on to the next. So that's kind of how our process goes.
All right.
And if it's more than one
Interesting.
idea, we might separate that between the team and each work, kind of more focus on the one product and go from there.
And are you doing it together with your sous chefs, or are the ideas coming from you and you were asking for some input?
No, we work as a team completely on that. Yeah.
Nice. And about is the season and the ingredients, are they leading in your inspiration for dishes, or are there different types of inspiration you pick up?
I would say 80% of the time, the creative process is driven by an ingredient. And 20% of the time, it's technique. Like, okay, we have an idea to do something we think will be really challenging, really fun. From a chef's perspective,
Yeah.
to challenge ourselves to do something. And when we find our way to make this technique happen that we envision, then we'll apply the product to it. So
Yeah.
sometimes, probably 20% of the time, it goes the other way around. Yeah, once we figure out this technique, okay, let's use that for this product, it'll be perfect. But 80% of the time, it starts by this product's coming into season. What can we do?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And is there like a signature for your for the restaurants? Are you working with like local produce, or is there a seasonal theme, or is there like
Seasonality, we're seasonal because we only use the products when they are in season, right? Like we change dishes as products come in and out of season. So as I think almost all restaurants do, right?
almost all?
Almost,
Yeah,
yeah.
not everyone.
After a certain level, right? But and our product wise, I have no real limitation. We use a lot of English product. A lot of our products coming in from France. But we have a responsibility as well in our restaurant is to give our guests the best product.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best whatever ingredient is not coming from 10 miles away.
Yeah.
And that's the case with a lot of products when you have a restaurant in central London. So but yeah, I think our main responsibility to our client is to give them amazing product that's been handled properly and then cooked really well by us. Yeah.
Is there an overlap in ingredients used in the city of London by like top restaurants?
How do you mean?
Well, for example, in June, a lot of restaurants serve lamb, which is very logical. But then again, I see some overlaps in flavor combinations, ingredients in the same city. So you have some restaurants. When I look to some cities, some restaurants really serving the same products and also serving the same like side dishes or flavor combinations. Because via social media, we are all looking to each other, and sometimes we pick up some inspiration and we try to apply it in our own style of cooking. But is there like a signature flavor profile for your cuisine?
I think when it comes to flavor profile, I really love classic flavor combinations. It's not the restaurant you'll come and try something so out there that you could never imagine would work, and it works. I love and adore classic French cuisine.
All right, yeah.
And when we say maybe our cuisine at the greenhouse is contemporary French, I think it's contemporary by the way that we take it, from the farm and ends up on the plate by technique and, but when it comes to the flavor profile, I think it's very classic. And, there's some twists, of course, along the way, but for the most part, it's quite traditional in the taste, which I love to eat. I don't want to think too hard when I'm eating a plate of something that has two ingredients. I want to taste those ingredients perfectly, and so yeah.
Sounds nice.
We're quite traditional in that
opening
sense.
again?
Yeah. Well, hopefully you will come soon after.
Yeah.
Soon after we're allowed, and I'll have to come pay you a visit too.
Yeah. All right. So for all the viewers. Welcome at the Best Chef Awards Instagram Talks. Today we are speaking with the executive chef of the Greenhouse in London, Alex. Please, is there something you want to share with us? This is your chance. We have like a big platform, 600,000, I think.
Yeah.
Over 600,000.
I really. When this time is over, I mean, first of all, I hope everyone is safe, and I wish my condolences to anyone who's going through any hard moment, as I'm sure a lot of people are. What I want to ask is that everyone, when they have the opportunity, that they come out, eat in restaurants, support restaurants, and know how many people are working in those restaurants to give pleasure to others, and by going out to dine, it means so much to us, and it'll really make a difference to a lot of people. So go out, enjoy being at the table, drink, and come and support us.
Thank you. It's a great message, and thank you very much, Alex. I hope
it's a pleasure.
Visit
Thank
in
you.
Your restaurant very soon.
Likewise.
And we probably see you I hope in September, because
I
this
hope
is an
so.
event, yeah, in Rotterdam this year. It's in September, and from this point of view, it's just going to be, it's gonna happen because it's on the 22nd of September, and like I just told you guys, events in Holland are cancelled until the 1st of September.
Oh,
So
there we
it'll
go.
all come in a good way. Alex, again, thank you very much.
Thank you so
And
much.
speaking to you, sharing your philosophy, very good and very nice message. Um, People, have really have to go to the restaurant again and supporting us and enjoying our beautiful product of service and hospitality. All right,
Absolutely. Take care.
take care and see you next time.
Sounds good. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Alex. Bye bye.